Many people know about Russia and its president, Vladimir Putin. But there was one man in Russia that President Putin truly feared. This man was not a soldier or a spy in the usual way. He was a different kind of fighter. His name was Alexei Navalny. Alexei Navalny was a political activist. This means he worked to change the government and how the country was run. He was also very good with technology. He used the internet and social media like YouTube to share his ideas. Some people even called him an internet troll because he used humor to make fun of powerful people. He loved to use drone videos. These videos showed things from above, like beautiful buildings or secret places. He used these videos to show how corrupt some leaders were. His main goal was simple but very brave. He wanted to show the Russian people and the whole world how Russia really worked. He wanted to pull back the curtain and let everyone see the truth. Navalny worked hard to expose the network of lies, bribes, and bad deals. He showed how powerful and rich men controlled modern Russia. These men worked with the government, making things unfair for ordinary people. Alexei Navalny faced many dangers because of his work. He was sent to prison many times for speaking out. The world noticed his courage, and he was even nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. He also survived a secret poisoning on an airplane, which was a very serious attack on his life. The movement Alexei Navalny started became very strong. It touched the deepest fears of Vladimir Putin. In February of the year 2024, Mr. Putin's government managed to stop Navalny's voice forever. But the story of what he did and the lasting impact he left is very important. It is a story everyone should know and understand. This book will introduce you to Alexei Navalny, the man Vladimir Putin feared more than anyone else. We will learn about his fight, his methods, and why his life ended the way it did. 2. The poisoning. Alexei Navalny was in eastern Russia in the summer of 2020. He was getting ready to fly from Tomsk to Moscow. At the airport, some people saw him and took photos. Navalny then got on the plane. The flight took off. It was a 4-hour flight. About 30 minutes into the flight, Navalny started to feel very strange. A flight attendant offered him water, but he did not take it. Soon his strange feeling turned into bad pain. He went to the plane's bathroom for help. He started to lose consciousness. His body began to shake. His heart slowed down. Nobody knew what was happening to him. Luckily, a nurse was on the plane. She helped keep him awake. The pilots quickly changed course. They made an emergency landing in a nearby Russian city. When the plane landed, medics came quickly. But they said, "This is not for us. He needs special care." Navalny was rushed to a hospital in Russia. Inside the hospital, strange things happened. Doctors did blood tests to find out what was wrong. But the lab technician gave them results that said Navalny was fine. The results did not show any poison. But the doctors could see Navalny was very sick. They felt he had been poisoned. So the doctors followed their feeling. They treated him for poisoning. They put him on a machine to help him breathe.
They also put him into a deep sleep, a coma, so his body could rest. In the next few days, many Russian government officials came to the hospital. They stopped his wife and his personal doctor from seeing him. Navalny and his family did not feel safe there. A German group then offered help. They sent a special plane to take Navalny out of Russia. He flew to Berlin, Germany. There, doctors did new tests. This time, they found the truth. Alexei Navalny was poisoned. The tests showed a deadly nerve agent called Novichok. This poison was made by Soviet scientists a long time ago. It is only used by the Russian military and special agencies. It causes paralysis, damages nerves, and makes the heart slow down. It was clear that someone with powerful backing wanted to harm Navalny. He stayed in a coma in the Berlin hospital. The world soon learned what had happened to him. 3. Who is this man? Alexei Navalny spent most of his life trying to show the true nature of Russia's power. He wanted to shine a bright light on how the country really worked behind closed doors. He understood that Russia's government, its big businesses, and even its society were built like a giant house of cards. This means that while it looked strong and stable from the outside, it was actually very delicate and could easily fall apart if people stopped believing in it. At the highest point of this house of cards was President Vladimir Putin. But Putin was not alone. He had many rich and powerful people who supported him. These were very wealthy Russian billionaires. They controlled the most important industries in the country, such as oil, natural gas, mining, and telecommunications.
These billionaires did special favors for Putin, and in return, Putin helped them keep their power and wealth. They helped each other. This way, they kept control over almost everything that happened in Russia. This system of giving and taking favors helped them all stay secure in their positions. This way of working was not just at the top. It spread throughout the whole country. Regional governments and even city governments worked in the same way. There was a culture of secret deals, giving bribes, and using fear to keep people quiet. All of this was done to keep Putin strong and happy. And by keeping Putin secure, he could make sure his rich friends also stayed happy and powerful. Alexei Navalny's main goal was to make sure every Russian citizen understood exactly how this system operated. He wanted to pull back the curtain and show them the truth. He believed that if people saw this corruption, they would no longer support the government. They would demand a change. He wanted to knock down this house of cards from the ground up. He believed people should not accept a government that only worked for rich business owners and not for ordinary people. This is why Putin was so afraid of Alexei Navalny. If the Russian people truly saw the corruption and demanded a different path, Putin would lose his power. He would be the one to suffer the biggest fall. Navalny's fight was to reveal this hidden truth to his country. 4. A funny way to fight. Navalny understood that old ways of fighting corruption were not working. He chose the internet as his most important weapon. He was more than a politician. He was a popular YouTuber and a smart online activist. His main goal was clear:
to show all people, especially those in Russia, how their country truly operated. He wanted to pull back the curtain on the hidden world of bribes, corruption, and the powerful men who supported President Putin. He created many videos that were like short documentaries. These films were very well produced and easy to understand. What made them special was their humor. Navalny used jokes and funny moments to talk about very serious problems. This trolling style made his videos popular, reaching millions of viewers across Russia and beyond. It made complex issues simple and entertaining. His investigations often featured amazing drone footage. These small flying cameras would capture pictures of huge houses, private planes, and lavish properties owned by rich Russian officials.
The drone shots showed how these powerful people lived in great luxury, far beyond what their official salaries could buy. Navalny used these visual details as strong evidence of their corruption. He would show a leader's modest public image and then reveal their secret, expensive homes. This clear visual proof was very convincing to viewers. He cleverly combined serious facts with playful teasing. For example, one video about a corrupt politician might start with a funny clip of the man dancing awkwardly. Then, the video would quickly move to show detailed evidence of his dishonest actions and hidden wealth. This mix of humor and solid investigative reporting made his message powerful and memorable. He was like a sharp journalist, a funny internet star, and a dedicated activist all in one. Navalny's mission was not to win elections for himself. Instead, it was about showing everyone the truth to dismantle the current corrupt system. He aimed to convince people to vote against Putin and the established way of things. He believed that if enough people saw the truth through his funny yet factual videos, they would demand a change in their country. This was his clever and effective way to fight for a better Russia, using laughter and facts against power. 5. Why Putin was afraid. Vladimir Putin was at the top of Russia's government, like the highest card in a house of cards. But even from this high place, he was not all-powerful. His power came from the support of very rich men. These men owned big companies in Russia, like those for oil, gas, and phones. They helped Putin, and Putin helped them. This way, they all stayed in control and avoided laws. Putin was simply one part of a big system that kept these rich men powerful and free from rules. Alexei Navalny made videos that showed how these rich men and Putin worked together. He showed how they used bribes and kept secrets. Putin was not worried about legal problems because of these videos. The courts in Russia also followed this system of corruption. So, Navalny's videos would not make Putin or his friends go to jail. He did not fear legal challenges. What truly scared Putin was something else. He was afraid that the common people of Russia would watch Navalny's videos. He feared they would see the truth about how their country was run. If people understood that a few billionaires controlled their government, they might become angry. They might start to ask for change and want a government that was fair to everyone. If this happened, the rich men might find a way to leave Russia and hide. But Putin would be left as the public face of the system. He would be seen as the enemy. His fall would be the biggest because he was the one holding everything together. He had put himself in a corner. He had to keep the current system working. If not, he would face the anger of the Russian people. Navalny was the only person who had made the people feel this anger against the system. This is why Putin was so afraid of him. He knew that Navalny's message could truly shake his power. It could make his house of cards fall down. The truth, shown in simple videos, was Putin's biggest threat. 6. The return home. Alexei Navalny slowly woke up from his coma in the hospital in Berlin, Germany. He had been very ill for many weeks. The doctors worked hard to save his life after the poisoning. The world now clearly understood what happened. Russian government agents had put a deadly poison on his underwear while he was in his hotel room. The poison had harmed Navalny's body greatly. He had to start learning to walk again, step by step, because the poison had damaged his nerves. It was a very hard time for him. Even though he was still weak, Navalny remained very clever and brave. He decided to play a smart trick. He used a special computer program to make his phone calls look like they came from a secret government line. Then he called one of the Russian agents who had poisoned him. The agent was sick at home with a virus early in the morning. Navalny pretended to be a high-ranking officer from the same intelligence agency. He talked to the agent for many minutes. Slowly, he made the agent confess to the poisoning. The agent actually explained how they had put the poison on Navalny's clothes. This phone call was a big surprise for many people around the world. It showed clear proof of the government's crime. After this, Navalny had a very important decision to make. He was safe in Germany, but he knew his work was not finished. He could stay abroad, far from danger. But Alexei Navalny chose not to hide. He decided to fly back to Russia. He wanted to go home and face President Putin directly. He knew that returning would be very risky, maybe even deadly, but he wanted to continue fighting for a better Russia. Before he flew back, Navalny made sure to do one more powerful thing. He released a new documentary film. He had been working on this video before he was poisoned. This film was all about President Putin and his close circle. It showed a huge, secret palace on the Black Sea coast. Navalny used drone cameras to show amazing pictures of the expensive building. The video revealed many hidden parts of the palace, like a private ice hockey rink in the basement and a casino. Navalny explained that the palace was officially owned by rich friends of Putin, but it was really used by the president. This luxurious palace showed how much corruption there was. Navalny planned to make this film public only after he arrived back in Moscow. He wanted to send a very strong message. The video quickly became very popular on YouTube.
More than 130 million people watched it. It helped many Russians see the truth about their country's leaders. The palace became a clear symbol of the hidden corruption that Navalny always talked about. 7. Prison and silence. Alexei Navalny landed in Moscow and was arrested at once. Police claimed he broke parole rules from old, fake charges. But Navalny was in a coma, poisoned by the government, so he could not report. Still, he was jailed. Navalny faced a fake trial. Many people protested in Moscow and other cities. Police used force, arresting over 1,000 protesters and journalists. Navalny's lawyer was even arrested. Inside the court, Navalny stood in a glass box. His wife, Yulia, watched. He was found guilty and got 2 years and 8 months in prison. The government was not finished. Over the next few years, they added more charges. His prison sentence became longer. In August 2023, he got 19 more years for extremism. This meant over 30 years total. The message was clear: Navalny would die in prison. In December 2023, Navalny disappeared. For weeks, his lawyers and family did not know where he was. He was then moved to IK-3, a harsh prison in the Arctic Circle. This prison was nearly 1,200 miles northeast of Moscow. It was one of Russia's coldest, most brutal prisons. Even there, Navalny stayed strong. He sent messages through his lawyers and on social media. He kept his hope and humor, joking about the cold and never giving up. On February 16, 2024, Russian prison officials said Alexei Navalny died. They claimed he felt sick after a walk, lost consciousness, and could not be revived. He was 47 years old. The Russian government said he died from natural causes. This was not true. Navalny had survived Novichok poisoning. He knew the risks when he returned.
In prison, he was kept alone, denied medical help, and suffered terrible conditions in the Arctic. President Putin had finally silenced the man he feared most. But by doing this, Putin showed everyone that what Navalny said about the corrupt system was true. 8. His story continues. Many thousands of people showed great bravery. They came to Alexei Navalny's funeral in Moscow. Despite the risk of being arrested by the police, many citizens lined the streets to say their last goodbyes. They shouted his name and carefully laid flowers down. They refused to let his sacrifice for Russia be forgotten by anyone. After this very sad time, something important began to happen. Navalny's wife, Yulia Navalnaya, stepped into the public eye. She had always stayed out of the spotlight before, but now she took a stand. Just days after Alexei died, she spoke at a big meeting, the Munich Security Conference. She also shared a strong message on her husband's internet channel. Yulia told the world that by killing Alexei, Putin had killed half of her heart and soul. But she declared that her other half would not give up. Yulia promised to continue Alexei's fight for a better and more honest Russia. The Russian government quickly reacted to Yulia's words. They issued an order to arrest her, saying she was part of an extremist community. However, Yulia continues her husband's important work from outside Russia. She speaks with many world leaders and attends important international talks. She works hard to keep his mission alive and well. When Vladimir Putin had Alexei killed, he unintentionally showed the world the real truth. Everything Alexei Navalny had been saying about the corrupt system in Russia was proven right. Putin feared the truth so much that he chose to silence Alexei forever. But this extreme act only served to show that Alexei's message was truly accurate and powerful. Alexei Navalny's story and his strong ideas live on. His famous documentary video about Putin's Grand Palace has been seen by over 130 million people. People all over the world now have a much clearer understanding of how the Russian system truly works. His book, Patriot, was published after he died, giving his final thoughts to the world. His foundation still actively works to expose corruption and unfairness. Yulia Navalnaya now carries forward his legacy, making sure that Putin's biggest fear, that the Russian people will see the truth about their government, remains alive and strong.
What do you think is the most important lesson we can learn from Alexei Navalny's life and fight?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.